I'm on the phone with somebody and my gut institution, what's the word? My gut intuition. He'll be like, oh, we'll get into an argument. He'll be like, oh, I left my phone open on purpose because I knew you would go through it. And that would hurt me. But yeah, she was basically like, oh, you know, we sharing the same dude. And I'm looking like, is that supposed to be a flex? I said, then I didn't know, but now I'm for sure. I'm just saying I'll do whatever to get you back, yeah. Hey my lovelies. Oh wait, that's a good one. So from now on, when I start my videos, I'm gonna be like, hey my lovelies, because I always wanted to make a cute little nickname for y'all like them other YouTubers be doing, you know. Like I was really inspired by De'Ara, you know, when you be watching her in the beginning of her videos, she be like, what's up OGs or whatever. So that'll be a cute nickname for y'all. So I ain't gonna do too much talking in this intro. This is my first video of the new year, and I've been thinking for a while what type of content I wanted to come off with. I think I'm gonna start off with cooking videos, story times and stuff like that. I'm gonna just start doing, I'm gonna just start showing y'all my hobbies and stuff like that, doing stuff that I actually like doing, and maybe making videos would be more enjoyable instead of me forcing myself into making content that's out of me, that's not me, and stuff like that, and just doing stuff that I see other people doing or whatever. So we finna get right into this video, so let's go. As y'all can tell by the title, today I'm going to be doing a story time on my first time getting cheated on. But technically, I don't know if this was my actual first time getting cheated on, because you know how it is. If you get cheated on and you don't know you got cheated on, nobody never told you you got cheated on. I just never found out or whatever. But this was the time I found out. It was literally in my face, and I was just dumb in love and couldn't get out of the situation. Could, but didn't want to. When it comes to me talking, even though I enjoy talking, I be all over the place. So I jotted down most of it, and I'm gonna just follow that guideline when I tell this story. So this person, I'm not gonna say their name. This was my first relationship out of high school. I said I was done with relationships. I literally said to myself, I was like, I'm gonna wait for God to send me the right man, and maybe it can go from there. I'm gonna wait for God to sit down and tell me, okay, this is the right one for you. And I guess I wasn't listening well enough, because that was not the right one for me. Background story: this was one of my neighbors. He came around pretty often. I was just seeing him around, and then I low-key had caught feelings for him, but I don't know what type of feelings those were. Like I said, I was fresh out of high school. I didn't really want to get into a relationship, but I was looking for a relationship, so I just jumped on it. The first thing that kind of threw me off about this relationship was how, when I would, y'all know what streaks are on Snapchat. I would be doing streaks with other guys and girls too, and he would always be like, oh, y'all doing streaks, y'all doing streaks, I don't like that, I'm not cool with that, and stuff like that. And I'd be like, what's wrong with just doing streaks? Like, he could literally have access to my phone, and I had access to his phone, and he could see it was nothing going on. I'm sending a blank screen, or I'm sending a screen with an S on it, or I'm sending a screen that says streaks. And he's like, well, I'm a dude, and I know what dudes want. And then I would be seeing stuff on TikTok that'll be like, oh, they're accusing you of cheating, or you know how it is when somebody, it takes one to know one. So if you're accusing someone of doing something, maybe you're doing it too. Usually that's the case of the scenario or whatever. So he'll be like, I'm a dude, I know what dudes want and stuff like that. Boy, you're just cheating on me. That's what it is. So he basically made me block all my guy friends. That I can go back to some friendships I used to have, and it used to be cool guy friendships. Just, I don't know the word for it, platonic friendships. I think that's the word for it. And he just made me block all of them, and it was so boring, y'all. I was like, okay. So my first sign of it was going through his phone. Of course I went through his phone. I'm not gonna say I was insecure, but I'm nosy, and I want to know stuff. So I went through that phone, and it was girls in there. I'm looking like, okay, he made me block all these boys. I was like, but I'm not even gonna make him block these females. And it was crazy because he would be talking to girls younger than me. And he's a good 2 years older than me, I think. And he was talking to girls that were still in high school. And I would be looking like, dog, is this what I'm settling for? It was just make me so mad. But I didn't say that. I didn't make him block them or nothing like that. I was like, I'm not going to be that type of girl. And then I would see him messages of him talking to his ex. Because I remember when at the very beginning of our relationship, when he used to stay like, when he was my neighbor, and he told me about his ex, and we was both scrolling through his phone. Then we were outside. I remember we was under my tree and we were both scrolling through his phone. He was like, oh, that girl right there, don't worry about her, that's just a girl I used to talk to from up the road where he used to work at. And I was like, okay, I ain't thinking nothing of it. Me being naive, like I said, fresh out of high school, really new to most relationships and stuff like that. My mama really had just let me start dating around 11th grade, 10th grade. So yeah, he was like, that's just a girl. He was just brushing it off like she wasn't nobody. Keep that in mind. So another thing that threw me off was my mom used to let me go spend the night at his house. I used to spend the night at his house every Monday and Tuesday. I think this was either before I started working or during when I was working. He would be off on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I would spend the night at his house on Mondays and Tuesdays. And bro, this girl I used to go to school with came and knocked on the freaking door in the middle of the night while we was asleep. And he had went to answer the door, and he was like, fool, she knocking on the door, she trying to get in. I told her I'm in the bed with you. Okay, me thinking, I'm like, dog, stop lying to yourself. And me too. You know you did not tell that girl you was in the bed with me. And then this what made me know he did. This girl literally texted me, and before I started this story time, I was trying to go back to Messenger and find the text messages so I could show y'all, but I couldn't find them because she after we got the arguing, like we was arguing, she unsent all her messages, and then I guess I just deleted the whole chat because I didn't want to make it seem like I'm just sitting there talking to myself. That's dead. But yeah, she was basically like, oh, you know, we sharing the same dude. And I'm looking like, is that supposed to be a flex? I said that to myself. But then he looking over my shoulder in the phone. He's saying, he panicking like, don't text her back, don't even get into it with her, it's not even worth it. And then, you know, the argument, he's like, oh, you did your big one, you popped it. And I'm looking like, please sit down, because I'm not with all that right now. It would be times where he would leave out the room, and after the fact, okay, I'm jumping over, let me go back. It would be times where he would leave out of the room and he would leave his phone unlocked. And you know me, like I said at the beginning, I'm curious. I would go through his phone and he would still be talking to that girl that I told y'all from the beginning, his ex from up the road. So I'd be like, why you still talking to her? I'd just be blank. Cause no, first I would chill. I'd be like, bro, don't even say nothing about it. Don't even let him know you going through his phone. Then I would let my emotions take over and I would just tell him. And then he'll be like, oh, I'm just using her for money. And I'd be like, broski. He would tell me he's using her for money. He'll tell me he's just using her and stuff like that. And I'd be like, well, why you calling her bae? Like, I go through the messages and he'll be calling her bae and stuff like that. I was lost for words, you guys. And then this is what I was talking about after the fact. He'll be like, oh, we'll get into an argument. He'll be like, oh, I left my phone open on purpose because I knew you would go through it. And that would hurt me. It was just, I was hurting myself at the same time, but because I knew I could leave. And then at the same time, I'd be like, I don't know why I was staying, y'all, just holding on to something that wasn't even worth it. So one day I was in the kitchen and I was making breakfast. And I caught him on the phone with somebody, and my gut institution, what's the word? My gut intuition. My gut intuition was telling me, oh, he on that phone with the girl from up the road. The same girl, y'all. And I could kind of hear the whole conversation, but I couldn't really hear. He was like, oh, I ain't talked to you in so long. Because it was a period in our relationship where he went a long time without talking to her because he kept seeing me complain about it. And I guess he was like, okay, I'm just leave it alone. So I'm in the kitchen making breakfast. And I stopped what I was doing to eavesdrop. And he basically caught back up with her. It was like, yeah, I'm going to check on y'all more often and stuff like that. Because I guess he was cool with the mama or whatever, or whoever else they was talking about. He was basically like, I'm gonna be checking up on y'all more often. So I was like, okay. So then, bro, it's gonna get funny, but it's not funny at all. It's not funny, y'all. So we'll be laying in bed, he'll be playing the game, the phone will just be going off, ding ding ding. Y'all know that iMessage notification, ding ding, it'll just go off, and he'll text back real fast, and then 3 minutes later it'll go off. And this went on for like 4 weeks. So sometimes I would go to the store, like we would eat out, and I would go to the store and I would have his phone unlocked because my phone wasn't on at the time, but his was. So I don't know how to explain it, but he used my phone because my phone was connected to the Wi-Fi, and I used his phone because his phone was on, so I could call him while I was out, while he was at the house connected to the, y'all, okay, if y'all don't get it, you don't get it. If you know, you know. So I'll be going through his phone, he's still talking to females. So it was just one time, I was in the car with my mom, and she basically explained to me what pillow talking was, because I went through the messages and I just busted out the car. He was pillow talking about me to another girl. Basically, he had just met her. He was already talking about wanting to go out on dates with her, and she said something about, what if you're in a relationship? She asked him something about, is you in a relationship or something like that? He was like, yeah, but you know how that goes, being in a relationship with somebody that's childish, being in a relationship with somebody that can't provide for you. He was just down talking me, bro, saying all types of stuff about me. And my mom's like, oh, you don't need to be with no dude that's pillow talking about you. So that was like the first red flag for my mom, or whatever. My mom could see that he was the one. Basically, she was trying to convince me to break up with him, but I was like, so I went back. Y'all know how I am. Y'all listening to this story, apparently y'all can see the type of person I am. I'm gonna put up with the bull for so long until it gets to a point. So this was my last straw. I went to the corner store that was down the street from his house, and once again had his phone, and I went through it. And y'all remember that girl was knocking on the door in the middle of the night? Oh, I went through the messages, and she had one of his t-shirts on. I could remember when we first met, he used to wear this shirt a lot. So I was like, okay, this is recent. She had on one of the shirts, and she sent the picture and was like, look what I got. And he was like, keeping it warm for me, bro. Shattered my heart. I ain't telling mom about it. And when I went back home, before I had left to go to the store, I was in the process of retwisting his hair, bro. I just packed all my bags. I was crying. I was furious. I went off on him, let him know what was going on, and I just left his house, walking at night in the dark. And it's like, we lived, so he went from being my neighbor, he had moved, and I lived like down the street from him. Like, it was like a good 8-minute walk. So he was like, you just gonna leave like that? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave like that. I'm sick of it. So my mom, mind you, I go in his house Monday to Tuesday, and my mom would be off on that day too. She would, coincidentally, by the grace of God, she was driving down the road, and she had noticed it was me. And I got in the car, and I broke down, and I was crying to her, and she was so furious. She was like, you're not going back to him. I don't care what goes on. She basically broke it down and told me, I'm not letting you get back with him, because I obviously see that you can't think for yourself and see that you don't need to be with him and stuff like that. So I understood everything she was saying. I was kind of mad at first, but I really wasn't. And I was just like, I put up with this for so long. And it's not like I got cheated on one time. I got cheated on multiple times. And then, y'all, this the part I skipped over. This was the funny part. Mind y'all, I told y'all, after he had got off the phone with her that day, I was in the kitchen making breakfast, his phone would be going off over and over, and he'd respond to the message real fast. That went on for a few weeks. One day, he was walking me home, and I said, yeah, I know you was on the phone with her and stuff like that. And I just broke it down to him. I said, I know she be texting your phone. This dude said, the group chat be texting my phone. He said something stupid, but it didn't make sense adding up to, I think he said the group chat be texting me on Messenger, or it be the boys or something, like they be texting me about the game or something. I said, boy, that's that iMessage notification. That's how I know you lying. He busted out the laughing in my face like I was a joke or something. I'm looking like, alright, bro, you got it. And yeah. So I believe if it really wasn't for my mama I probably would have went back. And it's been times where he tried to come back into my life. I ain't been down for it. We could talk as friends, but I'm not going for it. But yeah, that's the story time on how I got cheated on. I'm gonna add a little more to the title. I'm gonna be like how I was dumb in love over this boy, because that's basically what it was. And I hope this helps some of y'all girls out. If y'all young and in middle school or in high school, don't put up with no stuff like that, because y'all deserve better. We deserve better. We don't deserve to be cheated on, played with in our faces, and treated like anything or like an option or and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope y'all like the story time. I'ma post, y'all should follow me on Instagram, because it's more juicy stuff that I got to come. I'll give y'all a choice on which y'all would like to hear, like a story time about this or a story time about this, and I'm gonna let y'all vote, and I'll see y'all in the next video.